Your electricity bill is rising, the power cuts keep coming, and the grid, you simply cannot rely on it anymore. But what if one device, the size of a carry-on suitcase, could change all of that? Today, we are breaking down the SUMRY 4kW Hybrid Inverter, step by step, calculation by calculation, specifically for homes running on 110 volts. Let's build your solar system, starting right now. By the end of this video, you will know exactly what this inverter can do, whether your battery works with it, how to size your solar panels, and how to configure it perfectly for your home. Let's get into it. Today's tutorial was inspired by a real comment from one of our subscribers, Ernesto from Cuba, who asked a brilliant question about setting up a SUMRY 4kW hybrid inverter with his existing battery and solar panels. Here is everything we will cover today. 1. The SUMRY inverter specs explained simply. 2. Battery compatibility check. 3. Solar panel wiring and calculations. 4. 110-volt configuration for Cuba. 5. Full system energy calculations. And 6. Complete wiring overview. Let's begin with the inverter itself. Inverter Specs Overview. This is the SUMRY HGX series hybrid inverter, 4,000 watts, 120 volts AC output. Let me walk you through each specification one at a time so nothing is confusing. Number 1, power output, 4,000 watts continuous. In simple terms, this inverter can power your entire home at the same time. Refrigerator, fans, lights, television, phone chargers, and even a small air conditioning unit, all running simultaneously without any problem. Number 2, battery voltage, 24 volts DC nominal. This is the voltage of the battery bank this inverter is designed to work with. This is a very important number, and in just a moment we will check if Ernesto's battery matches this perfectly. Number 3, MPPT voltage range, 55 to 280 volts DC. MPPT stands for Maximum Power Point Tracking. Think of it as the brain inside the inverter that squeezes every last drop of energy from your solar panels. Your solar panel string must produce a voltage between 55 and 280 volts for the system to operate correctly. We will calculate exactly where our 3 panels fall in just a few minutes. Number 4, maximum current. The inverter accepts up to 140 amps from your solar panels and up to 110 amps from grid AC charging. These are very generous numbers. For a small home system like Ernesto's, we will be using only a fraction of this capacity, which is perfect. And number 5, frequency, 50 or 60 Hz selectable. This single feature is extremely important for our viewer in Cuba. Cuba operates on 60 Hz, and this inverter supports both 50 and 60 Hz, so we are completely compatible right out of the box. Battery compatibility check. Now let's answer Ernesto's first specific question. He has a 25.6 volt, 200 amp hour battery, and he wants to know, is this compatible with a 24 volt inverter? The answer is yes, and here is exactly why. A battery labeled 25.6 volts is a lithium iron phosphate battery. This type of battery is made up of 8 individual cells. Each cell has a nominal voltage of 3.2 volts. 8 cells multiplied by 3.2 volts equals exactly 25.6 volts. In the solar industry, 25.6 volts is a 24-volt battery, just the lithium version. Lead-acid batteries sit closer to 24 volts, while lithium sits slightly higher at 25.6. This inverter is fully designed to work with this voltage. We have full compatibility. Solar panel calculations. Now let's move to the solar panel calculations, and this is where beginners often feel overwhelmed. But I promise you, we are going to make this very simple. Ernesto asked, can I start with just 3 600-watt panels? Let's find out. Step 1. Total solar power. 3 panels multiplied by 600 watts each equals 1,800 watts, or 1.8 kilowatts of solar power. That is a solid starter system, enough to cover most of your daytime energy needs and charge your battery at the same time. Step 2. Understanding your panel voltages. Every solar panel has two important voltage ratings. First, VOC, or open circuit voltage. This is the maximum voltage a panel produces when not connected to a load. For a typical 600-watt panel, this is approximately 45 volts. Second, VMP, or maximum power voltage. This is the voltage at which the panel operates at peak efficiency under normal conditions, approximately 42 volts. These numbers are always printed on the back label of your solar panel. Step 3. Series versus parallel wiring. This is one of the most important decisions in your solar setup. Let me show you both options and why one is clearly correct for this system. Option A. Series wiring. In series, you connect the positive terminal of one panel to the negative terminal of the next. This adds the voltages together while keeping the current the same. 3 panels in series, 45 volts multiplied by 3 equals 135 volts VOC, and 42 volts multiplied by 3 equals 126 volts VMP. Now check this against the inverter MPPT range of 55 to 280 volts. 126 volts falls perfectly within range. Option B. Parallel wiring. In parallel, all panels share the same voltage, so 3 panels in parallel would still only produce 45 volts VOC. 45 volts is below the minimum MPPT input of 55 volts, which means the inverter would not even recognize the panels as a valid input. The verdict is clear. Wire your 3 panels in series. Step 4. Current check. Formula: power divided by voltage equals current. 1,800 watts divided by 126 volts equals 14.3 amps of input current. The inverter maximum is 140 amps. We are using only 10% of the available capacity. This means you have enormous room to expand your solar array in the future without changing anything on the inverter. Let's review the panel calculation summary. Total power, 1,800 watts, within inverter capacity, pass. String voltage open circuit, 135 volts, within MPPT range, pass. String voltage operating, 126 volts, MPPT optimal, pass. Input current, 14.3 amps, well under 140 amp limit, pass. Everything checks out perfectly. 3 600-watt panels in series, approved. Now let's talk about something very specific to our Nestos situation, and something that many viewers in the Caribbean and Latin America will relate to. Cuba uses 110 volts at 60 Hz. This inverter outputs 120 volts. So, is there a problem? The short answer is no. There is no significant problem. 120 volts and 110 volts are only 9% apart. All modern appliances, refrigerators, televisions, fans, LED lights, phone chargers, are designed with a built-in voltage tolerance of plus or minus 10%. That means an appliance rated for 110 volts will operate safely anywhere between 99 volts and 121 volts. 120 volts from this inverter falls right at the upper edge of that tolerance, and your appliances will work perfectly fine. Think of SBU mode like this priority list. Solar is your first worker, free energy, always preferred. Battery is your second worker, stored energy for when the sun goes down. Grid is your backup, only used when the other two cannot cover the load. For Cuban households that experience regular power cuts, this setup gives you maximum independence from the grid. Full system energy calculations. Now let's calculate exactly what this complete system can deliver for a real household. These numbers will tell you everything you need to plan your energy usage effectively. Calculation 1. Daily solar energy production. Formula: total watts multiplied by peak sun hours equals daily energy. Cuba receives between 5 and 5.5 peak sun hours per day. This is an excellent solar resource thanks to Cuba's geographic position close to the equator. 1,800 watts multiplied by 5 hours equals 9,000 watt-hours, or 9 kilowatt-hours of solar energy produced every single day. To put that in perspective, the average Cuban household consumes between 3 and 5 kilowatt-hours per day for essential appliances. This system produces nearly double what you need, giving you plenty of surplus to fully charge your battery every day. Calculation 2. Battery backup duration. Formula: voltage multiplied by amp hours equals total watt hours. 25.6 volts multiplied by 200 amp hours equals 5,120 watt hours, or 5.1 kilowatt hours of stored energy. But here is an important rule for lithium batteries: we never discharge them 100%. We use 80% depth of discharge to protect the battery cells and maximize the number of charge cycles over its lifetime. 5,120 watt-hours multiplied by 80% equals 4,096 watt-hours, approximately 4 kilowatt-hours of usable battery storage. At an average home consumption of 500 watts per hour, 4 kilowatt-hours gives you approximately 8 hours of backup power with zero solar input. That covers an entire night of essential appliance usage. Calculation 3. Maximum load check. This inverter supports 4,000 watts of continuous output. Let's see what a typical Cuban household would run simultaneously and whether we stay within that limit. Refrigerator, 200 watts. 10 LED lights, 100 watts total. 3 ceiling fans, 150 watts total. Television, 100 watts. Phone and device chargers, 50 watts. Small 1 horsepower air conditioner, 1,000 watts. Total load, 1,600 watts. We are running all of these appliances simultaneously and using only 1,600 of the 4,000 watts available. That is 40% of the inverter capacity, leaving a very comfortable safety margin. Here is your complete system summary in one place. Inverter: SUMRY HGX 4 kilowatts 120 volts AC. Battery: 25.6 volt 200 amp hour LiFePO4, fully compatible. Solar array: 3 panels, 600 watts each, 1,800 watts total, wired in series. Daily solar production: 9 kilowatt hours. Usable battery backup: 4 kilowatt hours, approximately 8 hours of nighttime power. Maximum load capacity: 4,000 watts. Cuba output configuration: 120 volts, 60 Hz, SBU mode. This is a solid, well-balanced entry-level solar system with room to grow. Wiring overview. Now let me walk you through the wiring connections so you have a clear visual picture of how everything connects. Please note, if you are not comfortable with electrical work, always hire a qualified electrician. Solar systems involve high voltages and currents that can be dangerous if handled incorrectly. Connection 1. Solar panels to inverter PV input. Wire your 3 panels in series, connecting the positive terminal of panel 1 to the negative terminal of panel 2 and the positive of panel 2 to the negative of panel 3. The remaining positive and negative ends of the string connect to the PV positive and PV negative terminals on the inverter. Use 6 mm squared or 10 mm squared solar-rated DC cable for this connection. Always install a DC circuit breaker or fuse between the panels and the inverter for safety. Connection 2. Battery to inverter. Connect your battery positive terminal to BAT positive on the inverter. Connect your battery negative terminal to BAT negative on the inverter. Use 25 mm squared or thicker cable for battery connections, and keep these cable runs as short as possible to minimize voltage drop and heat buildup.
Always install a fuse rated at 150% of the maximum battery current on the positive battery cable, as close to the battery terminal as possible. Connection 3. AC grid input, optional. If you want the inverter to use grid power as backup or for battery charging, connect Cuba's 110-volt grid supply to the AC input terminals on the inverter. This connection is completely optional. In SBU mode, the inverter will only draw from the grid when both solar and battery are depleted. Connection 4. AC output to home. Connect the AC output terminals to your home's main distribution panel or directly to your essential appliances. This is the circuit that powers everything in your home from the inverter. Before energizing your system, please check these safety points. 1. Confirm all cable connections are tight and secure with no exposed conductors. 2. Verify DC breaker between panels and inverter is in the off position before connecting. 3. Confirm battery fuse is correctly rated and installed. 4. Double-check polarity, positive to positive, negative to negative, before switching anything on. 5. Power on in this sequence: battery first, then inverter, then solar DC breaker last. Following this sequence protects both the inverter and your battery from power surges.
Future expansion. One of the smartest things about starting small with 3 panels is having a clear path to expand. Here is how you can grow the system over time. Phase 1, where you are now, 3 panels, 1800 watts, 9 kilowatt hours per day. Phase 2, add 2 more panels for a total of 5 panels, 3000 watts, 15 kilowatt hours per day. Phase 3, maximum recommended for this inverter, 6 panels, 3600 watts. Remember, always keep your string voltage below 280 volts. With 6 panels in series at 45 volts each, you would reach 270 volts, still safely within range. You can also expand your battery bank by adding a second identical battery in parallel to double your storage to 10 kilowatt hours, giving you up to 16 hours of nighttime backup. And that brings us to the end of today's tutorial. Let's do one final recap of everything we covered. Ernesto's 25.6-volt LiFePO4 battery is fully compatible with the SUMRY 4kW inverter, configured as a lithium battery type with the correct charge voltages. 3 600-watt solar panels wired in series produce 126 volts at the MPPT input, perfectly within the 55 to 280 volt range. The system produces 9 kilowatt hours of solar energy daily and provides approximately 8 hours of battery backup at night. Cuba's 110-volt, 60 Hz electrical standard is fully supported. Configure the inverter to 120 volts, 60 Hz, SBU mode, and your appliances will operate without any issues. Ernesto, thank you for your question. It inspired a tutorial that will help thousands of people across Cuba and beyond. If this video helped you, please press the like button right now. It helps this channel reach more people who need this information. Subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss a new tutorial. And drop your questions in the comments below, just like Ernesto did, because your question could be the next video. Until next time, stay informed, stay safe, and stay solar powered.